of soldiers and never have a problem speaking, and my heart is beating out of my chest ever since I walked into this room.
Don't cry.
No guarantees. So I made notes. Colonel Barger said make notes because he knows I'll go rogue and I can talk all day.
You're welcome.
First, I have to thank God for giving me the strength and the courage to serve in today's military and in this organization. And I don't want to gloss over that statement because you see a lot of people thank God right up front. But for those of you that don't know, many of you do know, I'm a big fat chicken. I'm talking the person that is very scared during scary movies. I'm terrified of heights. My husband has stated several times if he could record my scream and sell it to Hollywood, we'd be millionaires. Because I'm a chicken. So that when I say I have the courage to serve and carry a weapon and defend our country, I don't take that lightly, and it's something that I have to work at doing. To find the strength at 51 years old, I'm still running, no profile, and trying to keep up with these young soldiers, and they challenge me every day. And so I look around at some of my peers at my age and women that are grandmas, and I know that I am blessed to be able to serve and still have the health to do it. We're here today because Major General Thompson, Brigadier General Harrison, Chief Rao, and Colonel Barger gave me this rare opportunity. Thank you for being a command team that believes every soldier is valuable and measured and trusted with greater responsibility on an equal basis. That's huge. I'm so fortunate, downright lucky, to be here serving at this exact time. I am very committed and loyal to this organization. There are men and women much better than I that will not have this opportunity to wear this rank, so I don't take it lightly. For those of you that don't know, our command chief, Chief Rao, is actually a cop. Is that the right term to use, police officer? When he became the command chief, he pulled all the senior warrant officers in a room, all the W4s, and had a talk. He said the hard things. He told us what his expectations were, and he raised the standards. I've never seen anyone handle career management in mass like that. He slung some truth that day. He ended careers that day. He said some things. You're done. You're going to school. You need to do this. You need to do that. All very transparent. You don't see that kind of bravery and that kind of tact and that kind of honesty very often in my 30 years of service. And he told us how he was going to manage the force and the future control grades, which is everything for an ATR soldier, whether you're going to get that opportunity. And it made a lot of sense. It made sense what he was doing. It wasn't about any kind of cliques, any kind of aviation buddies, or who he may have served his entire life with. He was doing a methodical process of career management, and I had hope. I had hope. Thank you, sir, for that. Colonel Barger, I am so incredibly honored to be sharing this day with you. I've never met a more demanding boss in my career. No, seriously, he's all smiles. He's tough. I worked with the hardest of the hard. He's so tough. But with that said, I've never worked for a more professional soldier, and I don't mean that against anyone else I've served with, because I have so much respect for the soldiers that I worked with. He invests long hours. He works very hard, and he's so smart. I'm uncomfortable when my boss is smarter than I am. Okay? So what you need to know is because he treats us so well down to the lowest level, that we want to meet his expectations. We truly want to do a good job. You're a breath of fresh air. Thank you for your leadership and your trust in me. To the soldiers of the Oklahoma Guard, I'm here today because of you, each one of you. Iron sharpens iron. I'm constantly impressed with the wicked smart and the toughest soldiers. These are hard jobs. They are hard. I'm overwhelmed by the texts, the calls, the emails I've received since this announcement. And I want to share a little bit about who I am and where I come from so that you can see why this touches me. Do you know I was the daughter of an unwed 16-year-old woman? My mother went from foster home to foster home and found herself a child, raising a child. A year later, had my brother, Baron. My stepdad adopted me when I was 2. My dad took 2 children and one of his own, and later had one together. So yeah, 3 brothers. I'm not exaggerating when I say we were below middle class. Some learn to fish because it's fun. We learned to fish because we wanted to eat. That's where I came from. I'm the oldest and the first to graduate high school in my family. You think, why is that a big deal? Well, in 1985, both my parents were GED holders. The expectation in their lifetime was I didn't drop out of school because I had to work like my dad did. He had to drop out of school to work, help support his family. My mother cried at my graduation and impressed upon me how I was breaking through expectations in her lifetime. I wish she could have seen me and lived long enough to see me graduate college. Whew. And today, to see this promotion, she would be in awe. Chief Rouse told me there's never been a CW5 traditional drilling guardsman in any unit in Oklahoma Guard. There's never been a CW5 female AGR Title 32 in Oklahoma. And my mom would have been really amazed at that as much as I am. I say this because I want the soldiers to know that I have served with over the years. I come from humble beginnings and do not have the luxury of taking people or opportunities for granted. Many of you have been my reason for striving, my reason for continuing to serve. I wanted to be worth it. I wanted to take the hard job to earn the seat next to you. My Guard family is every bit as important as my biological family. You have inspired and challenged me. You have grown me up to the soldier I am today. So don't ever quit on your commitment to serve well. Take the hard jobs. To my very best friends out there, you make life fun. You help me embrace the suck. Kimberly Hayes, my dearest and oldest friend, I met as a private in the Marine Corps. We're still friends today. Outside of my husband, she's my biggest fan and absolutely have helped me achieve every milestone in my life. To my family, I want to start with my brother Baron and my sister-in-law Tanea. Did you know I joined the Marine Corps back in 1988 because of my brother? He talked me into joining the Marine Corps, and I kid you not, my first words were, "They take girls?" I mean, back then I didn't know a female Marine. I didn't make movies about it yet. Our dad had served in the Marine Corps for a few years, and Baron was following in his footsteps. And we graduated a day apart on different coasts. And he inspired me then to set a course that leads me to today. It's amazing to me. But I think equally important wasn't that push so much to join. It was while Jeff and I served concurrently joint, his military career, my military career, we had to have a family care plan, or you can't stay in the military. We've been both called up during hurricanes tornadoes here in Oklahoma. Hurricanes in North Carolina, sorry. I was stationed on the coast for a while. But tornadoes here in Oklahoma, and we had to rush our children out of the home in the evening. I can count on one hand how many people have reciprocated the love like my brother and my sister-in-law have. You've been very involved and did the hard things and said, I'll sign the paperwork, I'll take your children, and if you don't come home, we got you. I can't serve. I couldn't have served without that support. And you were it. You were it. That's huge. To my children, Jeremy and Brittany, and my son-in-law, Matt, your sacrifice is not unnoticed. As I'm not available all the time with weekends and deployments and leaving for months at a time, I remember Brittany asking me one day why we couldn't go camping to the lake because she knew I'd already drilled that month. And I had to explain to her that we had more soldiers deploying and coming home, and I had to be at an SRP site. And so she's learned to plan events around my schedule and adjust in the last minute. And I was thinking about that, how she's patiently forgiven me many times for missing important things along life's journey. So I'm here today because of their love and support as well. And I left my husband for last because I knew he would be the hardest one to talk about. My very favorite person in the whole wide world. We met 30 years ago in the Marine Corps. We've been married ever since. He's the only Marine in the battalion that received higher marks than me. So I picked a good one. He's been challenging me ever since. He's been my biggest fan and motivator. What you may not know is we ended up here in Oklahoma because of him. He replaced a sergeant in the Marine bombing and came to the Marine Corps station here in Oklahoma City. And after 11 years in the Marine Corps, he didn't want to leave us again and go unaccompanied tour back to Okinawa or wherever else they were going to send him, and he came over to the Guard, finished his career here with us, and retired. Did you know that he didn't bat an eye when I told him I'd have to quit my ADR job to become a warrant officer? He supported me. At that time, we didn't have warrant officer recruiters, and I'd already gotten a 30-day notice from the ADR office saying we're gonna fire you if you don't pull your packet. So I pulled my packet. So I later went to my husband and said, do you mind? I really want to do this. At the time, I'd never seen an E8 in the infantry brigade. And I had just been EPS selected as an E7 battalion PSNCO. I was an E6 and I had a crossroads. Am I gonna go to ANOC and get on the E7, or am I gonna go become a warrant officer? And a job opened, and it was a technician job, and it was a warrant officer. And I asked permission, could I take a huge cut in pay? He didn't bat an eye. That's real support when it hits your pocketbook too. He said, go for it. Later, by the way, in my lifetime, I did get to see several E8s promoted. Deborah Patillo and Rochelle Martin in the infantry brigade became E8s. Very proud of them. But I didn't know that was an option for me because I'd never seen it at the time I made that choice. My husband stood beside me in the toughest of times, through the death of my mother, the death of my brother, my never-ending absences from home due to duty, my deployment to Afghanistan. He's absolutely pushed me. Recently, I went through a difficult time of feeling a little bit beat down, and personally some heartaches in my life with family, and I was really trying to overcome and questioning life's choices, and I began to question my value and my ability to persevere. I went to that next level, my senior staff course, because Jeff Masters told me, you need to do this and you can do it, and you've done everything you've ever set out to do. Because of his investment in my life, I'm here today. And I'm so fortunate to have you as a life partner. To all the rest of you, I would say, if I can make a career out of the military, you can too. If I can overcome my humble beginnings, you can too. You can break past low expectations for yourself and create a new paradigm. I have such a sense of urgency now at the twilight of my career with the last rank to invest in those relationships and to build others up and help others to rise to the occasion as so many have helped me. We are, they say, but a generation away from being forgotten. And the only investment that lasts is people. We all live on in the memory of those we've touched, and I plan to use this opportunity wisely to renew my commitment to leave that legacy, a legacy of people that I can support and help along the way. Thank you.